I heard Joel Klatt on Colin Cowherd this week talking about Caleb Williams, and it wasn't so much just his analysis, but he was citing some other some NFL scouts, and said that Caleb Williams is basically Patrick Mahomes, except he's even further advanced than Mahomes was at this stage of his career, which is just unthinkable that he's that. Now, he seems to be bigger and thicker at this stage of his development, for one thing.
Well, I mean, when you're entering that level of comparison, I'm reticent to say that. Oh yeah, he's more advanced than Mahomes was. Like I'm not willing to go that far. It does bear mentioning that Mahomes was not a top. Not only was he not the top pick, he wasn't even a top 3, wasn't top 5, wasn't top 8. Like we were all thinking Deshaun Watson and Mitch Trubisky. And then Mahomes comes in several spots later. So like we need to be clear about where Patrick Mahomes landed in that NFL draft when he was taken. Like he was not placed in the same conversation as Mitch Trubisky. I mean, how did so many people get that one wrong? And like mea culpa, I did not think that Patrick Mahomes was clearly better than Mitch Trubisky. I was thinking that Deshaun Watson, though, was better than Trubisky, and he was clearly the best quarterback prospect in that draft. But I can't lie. I can't say that, I knew that Patrick Mahomes was coming all along to be this, NFL super duper star, guaranteed Hall of Famer at this point. I didn't get that one right. So in terms of like a Caleb Williams, Patrick Mahomes comparison, that has so many slippery slopes. And I think just the main thing for Caleb Williams is, because he has so much talent, that, all right, trust your talent by all means, but trusting your talent doesn't mean you make a reckless play. It doesn't mean that you make low percentage throws, because, we've seen it plenty of times with luminously talented quarterbacks that they think they can make every throw. They think they can make every play. Patrick Mahomes has learned to be disciplined. He's learned to, showcase all the things that make him great. But Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy have given him a structure and a system within which he can still flourish and be himself. But like he's received a real high-level football education from 2 very smart play designers who really know the intricacies of offense. Like and that's where it gets to the point of, if Patrick Mahomes had landed with, let's say the Houston Texans, would we be seeing him flourish like this? Having that proper landing spot, like you couldn't ask for a better landing spot than what he's had in Kansas City. And it's partly personnel, but it's mostly Andy Reid, this guy who's just cranked out winning season after winning season for 2 decades in the NFL. Like he makes conference championship games in his sleep. He's basically a modern Tom Landry. Landry would make the NFC championship game pretty much every year with the Dallas Cowboys, from the early 1970s, on into the early 1980s. Andy Reid's the same way. Bill Belichick's the same way. What, Mark?
I said, that's my guy, Tom Landry. 10 out of 13 years in the NFC Championship game.
You could just check that box at the beginning of every NFL season. So Andy Reid's on the same level with Landry. Mahomes going there as opposed to the Texans or, heck, pretty much any other NFL org. Like, only a few select NFL organizations would have known what to do with Mahomes. Belichick and the Patriots, you'd certainly include them. You'd probably include, the 49ers with Kyle Shanahan. Like, if he landed there, like Kyle Shanahan knows offense inside and out. Like, that he would make use of someone with Mahomes' gifts. But most NFL organizations, like you could not assume that Patrick Mahomes would be fully developed and so smart and so controlled while also having these amazing gifts that spill out in full flower on the football field. So again, when we compare Caleb to Mahomes, one of the things that's going to be paramount for Caleb in terms of his NFL future, his NFL career, it's landing with the right team. Like Caleb Williams isn't just going to land on any old NFL team and instantly make that NFL team great. No, like we've learned this from watching the NFL, that if you have an organization and a coaching staff that don't know how to do things properly, that like you can have the best talent, the best raw ability, and it's not going to translate. You need the luminous talent to be married with the coach, with the organization that knows what the heck it's doing. That is a very, very important point to make when we talk about comparing Caleb to Patrick Mahomes. I think that's really the most essential observation to make right now.
I was working on my top 10 quarterbacks in college football list for 2023 as we started the show here, and still working on whether I was going to squeeze Caleb Williams into the top 10. So, Tim, we'll work on that. We'll see if we get him in there. But yeah, Tim is still flabbergasted by my coach's rankings per se. But we ranked 25 quarterbacks last year, and boy, I think we'll just limit it to 10. I don't think I couldn't stop ranking them last year. I got to 10 and I'm like, oh, I want to rank the next 5, and then the next 5, then the next 5. So we did 25 quarterback rankings. I don't know where I had Caleb Williams going into last year. I think I had him number 3 behind Bryce Young and CJ Stroud.